Hello friends, we have been learning the very interesting unit from your syllabus, paper 2nd, plant physiology, and that unit is absorption of water. Actually, we have switched on this unit in the previous lecture, in the last lecture. In that lecture, we have got idea about the significance of a water to the plant in their life. Isn't it that we have studied? Now, exact how the absorption of water takes place, which actually the main part, as we know that actually, the root system absorbs the water from the soil. But again, another addition you have to keep in your mind, that is only the capillary water from the soil is available to the plant, isn't it? Only capillary water. So there are the three types of the water present in the soil: gravitational water, hygroscopic water, and capillary water. And the capillary water is only absorbed by the plant with the help of root system. Now, the total root never actively participate in the absorption of a water. Total root system never participate in the absorption. After absorption, no doubt, for the transfer from absorbed region up to the required region, that role is played by the root system up to the ground level. And then, so again you will have to keep in mind, xylem is the water conducting tissue. Xylem is the water conducting tissue. Now here the various regions of the root are there. The sketch is of a root. Various regions we can find of this root. In that one, most meristematic region is this one. Meristematic region is actually this one. Meristematic region. Just behind the meristematic region, we will be able to find region of a elongation. So this area is a region of a elongation. Region of a elongation is there. Now, just above to that elongation region, we can find most rapid entrance of water, because root shows presence of root hairs. These are the root hairs are there. So from which actually the rapid entrance, no doubt actually the most rapid entrance of the solute and most rapid respiration that we can find here, isn't it? Just behind the root cap region. So root cap, this one, behind the root cap, meristematic region, and this meristematic region is the most rapid entrance of the solute, and most rapid, we have to say that the respiration takes place. Now just behind to that meristematic region, there is a slow entrance of water takes place. Entrance of solute and rate of respiration also less is there in this region. Above that one, most rapid entrance of the water is there. Keep in mind, most important. So water is absorbed by the root hairs of the plant, which are located just behind the, we have to say that, elongated or elongation region, region of elongation. So my friends, you will have to sketch this diagram. After sketching this diagram, you will have to label it properly to the each part, then you will come to know that the things, as already I have told you. Once again I will tell to you, this is the root cap region. This is relatively impermeable to the water and solute. No water and solute enters or absorbed by the root cap. That is not permeable, isn't it? So that is an impermeable region. Behind the root cap region, there is a meristematic region, and this meristematic region shows most rapid entrance of a solute and most rapid respiration is there. Just behind to that one, there is a region of elongation. This region of elongation is there, and behind the region of elongation, there is a root hairs present, and that is the part, that is the region where the rapid entrance of a water takes place, isn't it? Why I am telling to you all these things? Because often and often the questions are raised, means we are only going to say that yes, water is absorbed by the root system, but in that root system some parts are there, regions are there, and specific regions are responsible for absorption of a water, and we have to study the things in detail of that one. Now, absorption of water, actually this is proposed by Atkins in 1916, Presley and Arnold in 1952, and Anderson in 1967. The water molecules are absorbed into the cell wall of the root hairs cells by the imbibition. Keep in mind, according to the Atkins, Presley, Arnold, and Anderson, the water molecules are absorbed into the cell wall of the root hair cells by the imbibition. We know that cell wall is the dead part, lignin deposited part. Am I right? So, by the imbibition process, water reaches up to the cell wall. The protoplast of the root hair cells is a hypertonic. In the last lecture, we have got idea how the things are going to happen, isn't it? That is a hypertonic. One thing you have to keep in mind, my friends, जिथं शुगरचं percentage जास्त तिकडं पाणी पळतं. Where the percentage of sugar is more, the water runs there, isn't it? Means what I want to tell you, my friends, when plant want to absorb the water from the soil, at that time we have seen the root hair region is the rapid entrance of water takes place. But that root hairs, the cells, root hair cells would have to maintain the hypertonic condition, isn't it? Once hypertonic condition has been made, hypertonic condition as compared to the soil water, and when hypertonic condition will be maintained, definitely the soil water will enter into the cell. So the protoplast of root hair cells is a hypertonic and soil water is a definitely hypotonic. Osmotic potential of the cell sap of the root hair is a higher. Sugar concentration is higher. Osmotic potential of the cell sap of the root hair is higher than the osmotic potential of the soil water. So definitely water will move towards the osmotic potential higher region having a higher osmotic potential. Osmotic potential of the cell sap is usually between 3 to 8 atmosphere, while that of reached water soil is less than 1. So definitely you will have to keep in mind the things are very much clear. These things you will have to only understand once you could be able to understood the concept of absorption of a water, how the things are going to happen, then only it is possible. In the last lecture I have told you will have to conduct one of the experiment, that is nothing but just you take a cotton, small piece of a cotton, isn't it? In that small piece of a cotton you have to put a small amount of water, a small amount of sugar, then tight that things, so that could be the little bit a small ball containing a sugar is there, that you have to suspend into the glass water, or in a, if you are having the glass or other pot, in that you will have to suspend. So what happens actually, the water from the container enter into the ball of the sugar, isn't it? Because we know that sugar is there, concentration is high, water will move through the semi-permeable membrane, that is nothing but the cotton piece which we have taken to prepare the ball, isn't it? So that experiment also you will be able to do. Then you will be able to understand how the things of absorption of water takes place, means water moves towards the hypertonic solution, and the root hair cells protoplast will have to maintain the osmotic potential of the cell sap that could be in between 3 to 8 atmosphere as compared to the less than 1 atmosphere of the soil. Now, absorption of water. Again and again we have been learning the same things. As the root hair cells contains the less water, it has the less turgor pressure. Less water, less turgor pressure. High osmotic potential and less turgor pressure of the root hair cells results into increased diffusion pressure deficit. Increased diffusion pressure deficit. This leads to increase in the suction pressure as the root hair cell contain less amount of solvent but maximum amount of a solute is there, isn't it? And that is responsible just to lessen the turgor pressure and increase the suction pressure. Increase the suction pressure of the root hairs. The cells of endodermis facing xylem are thin-walled and lack a Casparian thickening. They are called as a passage cells. Now, the cells of endodermis facing a xylem are thin-walled and lack the Casparian thickenings. They are called as a passage cells. Now, exact pathway of water, that is, as we know that root hairs, isn't it? Water first of all water from the soil first of all enter the root hairs, then epidermal cells, then reaches up to the cortex of the various successive cortex cells, then endodermal cell, passage cells of the pericycle, then xylem cells, and then xylem duct, and then movement is upward, isn't it? Now in diagrammatically we will be able to see very well. Yes, this is the actually diagram that gives us idea about the absorption of water. As I have said to you, this is actually soil particles are there. In between or among the soil particles there is a water, and that is a capillary water. And that capillary water enters the root hair first. From root hair that will comes into the epidermis cells. Then that is followed by, these are the many successive cortex cells are there. Then it will enter the endodermis, then into pericycle, and then we have to say that the passage cells are there, protoxylem, metaxylem, and then upward movement will takes place. So this is a horizontal movement, and then upward movement will takes place through the passage cells. So that things are there, how the actually water is absorbed by the plant and how that reaches up to the required site, that we have learned with the help of this a simple diagram. Once again I will tell to you, the water first of all enter the root hairs, from the root hairs that goes up to the epidermis, then cortex, endodermis, pericycle, and then xylem cells to duct, and duct to upward movement. So these things are happening. You will have to always understand, my friends, this is, although this very simple process, you will have to sketch diagram again and again, isn't it? You label the diagram properly again and again, often and often, पुन्हा तुम्हाला हे करायचं आहे, and then you will be able to understand exactly which tissues are taking part in absorption of a water and which region of the root is actively participate in the absorption of water, as we have seen in case of that. There are the regions or part of the root. First we have seen the root cap is there. Actually that is impermeable to the entry because that is a hard part which helps to the root in penetrating into the soil. So these things are there. Then just behind that root cap there is a meristematic region, and that meristematic region we have the entrance of a rapid entrance of a solute takes place, never water takes place. Then that region is followed by the elongated region, and just above the elongated region we will be able to see the root hair producing region, and that root hairs are responsible for absorption of a water. So active entrance of a or rapid entrance of a water takes place through the root hairs, and then the root after that one that reaches up to the xylem cells through, we have to say that, epiblema or epidermis, then follows into cortex, endodermis, pericycle and xylem. So with the help of this absorption of a water point, I think you could have understood, my friends. You will have to do hard work, you will have to do the experiments, because you are the science students. With this I have to say thank you very much.